Welcome to Candidates Comment, a public service presentation of CTN. All candidates running for Ann Arbor Board of Education were invited to come to CTN to share their platforms and ideas. Candidates who participate will be shown in alphabetical order.
Hello, I'm Suzanne Baskett, and I'm running for re-election to the Ann Arbor Public Schools Board of Education. I ask for your vote so that I can continue to lead our path to academic excellence for all students. I'm a lifelong resident of Ann Arbor and a Pioneer graduate. My mother, an immigrant from the Philippines, and I came to Ann Arbor for the opportunity of a job with respectable wages and a diverse community with good schools. I still have loved ones attending Ann Arbor Public Schools. In 2003, I was asked to run for the school board because things were in a tizzy then and not focused on students. Now, 15 years later, I want to be reelected because I'm still passionate about continuing the good work, and I'm the most qualified candidate to lead. So what makes me most qualified? First of all, I have the relevant training and 15 years of experience in working on achievement for all students. It's not just my longevity, but the quality of my service. I do my research, I ask the tough questions, and I make the hard decisions. As a result, we now have a broad array of educational options for students, including the full curriculum of the International Baccalaureate program and later high school start times. Secondly, I have a proven history of getting things done or squashed in our community. Serving on the school board is just part of my 30-plus years of public service. I have a positive reputation among a broad spectrum of community leaders on getting things done in a respectful and effective manner, such as creating the Southeast Area Park. Third, but most relevant, is my own personal history of challenges and successes in the school district. I was the funny-speaking biracial child placed in special education. I now hold a degree from the University of Michigan and Duke University. I raised a son here who struggled to learn to read, but is now a successful businessman in Jamaica. And most importantly, I am from and still live in the community that needs that extra focus to close the consistent achievement disparity. So why should you vote for me? I am a proven player who does her homework, who is qualified and experienced in getting things done. I will continue to represent everyone in our community, not just a particular interest group or one issue. Very importantly, I can carry out the full responsibilities of an elected school board member. I bring no inherent conflict of interest that will require me to recuse myself from key decisions. You will get the full return on your investment, your vote in me. So on November 6th, you will have the opportunity to vote for the majority of your school board, your team of leaders. You may vote up to 4 candidates. I ask for one of your 4 votes so that you will keep the most experienced and qualified team member available. That's me, Suzanne Baskett, consistently committed to our students. For more information about me, please visit baskettforboard.org. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Lucas Cole, and I'm running for Ann Arbor School Board. I grew up in Ann Arbor and am a graduate of the public schools. Now I'm a student at the University of Michigan. I truly loved going to school here and am very appreciative of the wonderful teachers and staff who work tirelessly on my behalf. However, I noticed that my peers and I lacked an avenue to express concerns about policy where we would be genuinely listened to. First and foremost, the district exists to ensure students receive the best possible education. As the only recent graduate of the public school system running for school board, I have a unique understanding of the tangible ways that policy affects students on an everyday basis. There was one particular instance that sparked my desire to advocate for student voices. My sophomore year of high school, I took a course at the University of Michigan called the Modern Civil Rights Movement. As part of the class, my friend Zev Michelson and I conducted an examination of how discipline policy and its application were shaped by racial prejudice and implicit bias at our high school, Skyline. First, we surveyed hundreds of students from a variety of backgrounds about their experience with discipline. Then, we interviewed administrators, teachers, and hall monitors on their understanding of the policy. We were deeply disturbed to find that racial minority students felt targeted by the policy and its enforcement. And teachers, hall monitors, and administrators all had different perceptions of what their own policy actually was and how they should enforce it. In response to our findings, we wrote a series of comprehensive recommendations for changes to building and district policy. After we finished, I spoke to the principal about our findings, but he was dismissive of their importance and focused on the ways in which he and the district-level administration had already addressed these problems. This type of speech suppression is not the result of an individual's mistake, but of a culture of callous indifference towards student perspectives that has been fostered by the school board. This phenomenon of ignoring alternate perspectives transcends the board's relationship with the student body to parents and teachers. The board's current majority is content to make important decisions behind closed doors in a conference room. I understand that it is difficult to run a school district and commend the incumbents for all their hard work. However, I also think the community is due for some fresh faces. That is why I am running a joint campaign with Rebecca Lazarus and Brian Johnson. We share a progressive vision for the district, and perhaps just as importantly, we think there needs to be an attitude shift. We won't hide away and govern in private because it is politically or fiscally convenient. We will not hide serious problems behind a misleading communications front. We will make decisions in the public sphere, promote vigorous debate, and encourage constituents to share their wealth of diverse perspectives. In Ann Arbor, we talk a lot about the importance of combating the DeVos education agenda at a national and state level. Why then do we lose this fight at a local level? The incumbents have been complacent. This November, when you go to vote, remember to protect public education all the way down to the bottom of the ticket. If you elect us to the school board, we will ensure that our district has a transparent policy agenda that welcomes public scrutiny and encourages administrative introspection. We will drive policy from the bottom up, not the top down. Please vote for Lazarus, Johnson, and Cole on Tuesday, November 6th. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Brian Johnson, candidate for Ann Arbor Public School Board. I'm a proud alum of the district where I attended Abbott, Forsyth, and Pioneer. I got my undergraduate business degree from Hampton University and my master's in business administration from the Michigan Ross School of Business. I currently work at the business school where I'm an associate director of admissions, primarily responsible for recruiting underrepresented minorities to the MBA program. I'm also the father of 2 daughters who attend AAPS, and my wife is a teacher. I grew up as a proud resident of the Pine Lake Village community, where I was one of the first people that I knew to graduate college. Fortunately, I wasn't the last. My brother and my 2 best friends went on to earn undergraduate and master's degrees. But I also watched as many of my friends struggled to go through AAPS. Some graduated and never attended college. Some failed because of many of the same achievement issues that students in AAPS face today. I'm passionate about providing educational opportunities for all students, especially low-income students and students of color. Since we've been back in Ann Arbor, I've volunteered as the president of the district-wide Black Parent Support Group, advisor of an area mentoring program called Kappa League, and worked with many other parents to save the tuition-based preschool programs at Allen and Thurston. I'm frustrated that many people in the community feel like everything's okay in AAPS, while some of the same kids who struggled when we were in school over 30 years ago are struggling today. There are a lot of issues that aren't being addressed. Issues like skyrocketing suicide attempts due to reduced access to mental health resources. Teacher morale is at an all-time low because they feel silenced by the administration, and the school board feels untouchable, unreachable, and disinterested in the issues that matter most to them. Starting in kindergarten, kids like mine spend way too much time in front of computer screens taking standardized tests and not enough time learning from some of the best teachers in the state. There's a general sense that the district is more interested in creating shiny new programs to attract new students instead of fixing the underlying issues that are glossed over in the superintendent's PowerPoint presentations. I believe that AAPS makes a promise to all parents to keep their children and help them to reach their full potential. The only way we truly keep this promise is if we create policies from the bottom up. We need to listen closely to our teachers, principals, students, and parents to identify areas of improvement and to spot issues before they fester and grow. The board needs to negotiate in good faith with all of its stakeholders and needs to demonstrate the values that we want to see in our community. Given my business and higher education background and my experience as a student and parent in Ann Arbor Public Schools, I'll bring a needed voice and perspective to the board. I believe that I'm the right person to help the district keep its promise. I'm also running with Rebecca Lazarus and Lucas Cole. I ask that you vote for them as well because we need help to make this a better district. Thank you so much for your time.
Hello. My name is Jessica Kelly, and I'm running to retain my seat on the Ann Arbor School Board. Since being appointed in 2016, I have found board service to be the perfect confluence of my professional life and my personal life. Even before I finished law school, I was an advocate for women's and children's rights. As a professional, I have been an accreditation coordinator for an agency recognized by the United States Department of Education. And for the last 5 years, I have been a special education advocate and consultant for families outside of the Ann Arbor district. Board work is also deeply personal for me. My husband and I are raising 3 kids here, one in high school, one in middle school, and one in elementary school. They are diverse learners, and mothering them has helped shape the priorities I have set as a trustee. While Ann Arbor consistently ranks among the districts with the highest achieving students in the state, we are not immune to the disparities in achievement and discipline that plague diverse districts. While we have made progress in reducing the disparities over the last 5 to 7 years through systemic changes, we still find that students from a few vulnerable populations are still less likely to be college or career ready by graduation and more likely to serve out-of-school suspensions. To improve outcomes for our most at-risk students, we must confront implicit bias, have culturally responsive classrooms, and surround all students with academic, social-emotional, and behavioral supports that allows them to fulfill their unique potential. I believe Ann Arbor can be a leader, not only in reducing disparities, but in eliminating them. We know that the factor with the most influence on student success is the teacher in their classroom. The Ann Arbor Education Association, our teachers' union, has endorsed me because I work with and listen to our teachers. I will continue to advocate for all of our teachers and staff members to ensure fair compensation and a reasonable workload so that our people can afford to live and work in our community. To do these things and to fulfill the very promise of public education, we must insist that our lawmakers adequately fund public schools. By all accounts, funding in Michigan is inadequate to provide even a basic education. We must fight for an appropriate per-pupil foundation allowance. In DC, lawmakers must fully fund special education, protect title money for at-risk students in teacher training, guarantee Medicaid reimbursements, and include public school buildings in any public infrastructure package that comes forward. I have worked with lawmakers in Lansing and DC advocating for these things. I want to keep advocating for our children and our employees in the Ann Arbor Public Schools. I am Jessica Kelly, and I ask for your vote on November 6th for the Ann Arbor School Board. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Rebecca Lazarus, and I'm so excited to become your Ann Arbor School Board trustee. I'm a proud parent of 2 children who attend Ann Arbor schools, and I'm a business consultant with a degree from the University of Michigan. I have a diverse business background that has culminated in managing multi-million-dollar real estate development projects. Growing up, my parents raised me to believe that a good education is the key to success in life no matter what you choose. It is this simple belief that has brought me here today. Over the years, I've had the pleasure of speaking with many parents in our district, and I've found that they want the same things for their children as I do: to attend a school with caring, passionate teachers in a clean, safe environment with equal access to high-quality resources that prepare them for life beyond graduation. My husband and I moved our family to Ann Arbor because of the schools. As an involved parent in my children's education, I've loved my children's teachers. I've seen how they sacrifice to make sure every student has the support they need to be successful. I see the opportunity and the need for our district to be more responsive and more progressive. Right now, Ann Arbor engages in more than the required amount of testing. Our district has doubled and even tripled testing beyond state requirements. This begins in kindergarten and continues right through high school. I will bring transparency to the board so we can be more proactive about what is really going on with all this testing and set a policy that is balanced and serves the needs of our students and teachers. We have untapped resources and opportunities to partner with others to bring working solutions to our schools. Asian Americans make up our district's 2nd largest student population. They are not only rich in language and culture, but many of the cities and countries represented have very advanced educational systems from which we should learn. I will be a bridge to this community to listen to their unique perspectives and concerns regarding our schools. Another area of concern is outsourcing. I believe outsourcing has degraded the quality of our classroom conditions, busing services, food services, and maintenance of our buildings and grounds. I understand that outsourcing can be attractive in light of financial pressures, but if we are not providing adequate quality services for our students and teachers, then the board needs to consider possible ways to bring these services back in-house. A few other things I will do as trustee are, I will monitor district spending to ensure sound fiscal management with a focus on reducing wasteful spending. I will work to create a fair and effective teacher evaluation system. And I will leverage my relationship with local and state governments to ensure Ann Arbor receives its fair share. Once again, I am happy to be running for school board, and I am happy to be running with Brian Johnson and Lucas Cole. Together with your support, I am confident we will bring the needed change to our board for our kids, our families, our teachers, and principals. Thank you, and I ask for your support on November 6th.
Hello, my name is Patricia Ashford Manley, and I am running for re-election as trustee on the Ann Arbor Board of Education. I am an experienced, passionate educator leader who loves children. Prior to my retirement in 2011, I served as a teacher, coach, club advisor, counselor, and class administrator at Huron High School and principal of Thurston Elementary School. These experiences and my desire to continue to work and make a difference in the lives of young people led me to run for the Board of Education in 2014. My tenure as a board member has been one of listening, learning, and doing. During my 4 years on the board, I have been on the front end of planning and voting for developing the pre-K-12 fully authorized International Baccalaureate World Schools, Northside STEAM, Project Lead the Way, and Young Fives. As a result of these programs, enrollment has increased significantly from 16,815 in 2014 to 18,000 currently. I have fought for student safety by voting to challenge the state to keep guns out of our schools, a case we won at the Michigan Supreme Court. Our bond and sinking fund millage has allowed the district to renovate and repair our buildings, purchase new buses, classroom furniture, program equipment, and musical instruments. If I am re-elected, I will fight for public education at the state and local level by supporting candidates and encouraging people to vote for those who understand the complex funding issues around education. I will help all students reach their full potential by increasing opportunities, options, and support to narrow the disparity of academic excellence, assuring all students are career and/or college ready upon graduation. I will provide support for students and families to address the social, economic, and emotional issues of today by decreasing the counselor-student caseload, increasing the number of social workers, and offering additional after-school programs. I will work to build trust, transparency, and partnership between the board, parents, teachers, and unions by creating opportunities to communicate in small settings. For further information, please go to my website, manleyforschoolboard.com. Remember, look for my name, Patricia Ashford Manley, and vote for me on November 6th. I thank you for your support.
I am Dr. Suzanne Perkins, and I'm a proud graduate of the Ann Arbor Public Schools. I am also the parent of 2 proud graduates of Ann Arbor Public Schools. I have a PhD in educational psychology, and I decided to run for school board because I strongly believe that educational science isn't given enough weight when we decide education policy in Ann Arbor. As one of the most educated cities in the country, it's troubling that Ann Arbor is struggling with education and discipline gaps. Many children in Ann Arbor do not attain the education they need to be admitted to our great university, and we need more equitable outcomes. I decided to run for school board because I want research to be the basis for education policy decisions. Because the role of the school board is to decide policy, we need to do so in an informed and thoughtful manner. During the 15 years I have been an Ann Arbor public school parent, we have let various superintendents choose the policy for the schools. We have had strategic plans that use terms like actualizing potential and meaningful learning through effective instruction. These are not measurable or policy-based. We need to put in place a strategic plan that does not use EduSpeak, but instead relies on data to determine whether we have solved problems, and if not, how to proceed so that we can solve them. Problems such as the long-term achievement gap between black and white and rich and poor are not being addressed adequately. Achievement and discipline gaps are ongoing problems facing primarily those children who are low income or have special needs. They wind up in the disciplinary system, which is detrimental to them and to our community. In the 15 years my children have been in the Ann Arbor Public Schools, those problems have persisted, while we have allowed ourselves to be distracted by the cuts that Lansing has been making to education across the board. We've been distracted by the number of mandated tests we have to give. We've been distracted by trying to follow state mandates on teacher accountability. Lansing wanted us to be distracted. We need to stand up to Lansing, raise awareness of, and denounce its plan to kill off public education with drastic cuts, and at the same time come together as parents, teachers, staff, and kids to be the city with the highest achievement in the state and the most equitable success rates. By way of background, before I came back to Michigan, I was a special education teacher of kids from high poverty backgrounds. Many of them abused and neglected with cognitive, emotional, and behavioral issues. So I well understand that these are complex problems requiring complex, well thought out, research-based solutions that involve the city and the county. That is why I'm running for school board and why I know I can make a difference. Please work with me so that we as a community can move Ann Arbor toward equity and educational excellence. My name is Suzanne Perkins, and I would appreciate your vote this November. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Christine Stead, current president of the Board of Education for the Ann Arbor Public Schools. I am running for re-election and hope to have your vote on the November 6th election. In Michigan, our crisis in public education became more acute during the last 8 years. Governor Snyder's administration has diverted $4.5 billion away from K-12 public education while leading a vast expansion of 300 charter schools at the direct expense of traditional public schools. In my 8 years of service, I have had to make difficult decisions. More importantly, I have had to help find a way for the Ann Arbor Public Schools to succeed despite this environment. I have some good news. We have a strategy that is working. Over the last few years, we have implemented many new programs and services to make Ann Arbor Public Schools the kind of district our community expects and deserves. The state's second K-12 IB program at Mitchell, Scarlett, and Huron, a new K-8 school at A2 STEAM at Northside, expanded Young Fives and World Languages. We have grown our enrollment by over 1,200 students. We have been able to improve salaries and benefits for all staff the last 2 years in a row, something no other district in the state can say. We are the #1 district in the state for success for our at-risk students, and our support of the arts won us a Kennedy Center Award in 2015. We are taking better care of our buildings, all new buses, 5,000 new instruments, and new classroom furniture. In July, we won our case in the Michigan Supreme Court, allowing us to keep guns out of schools. As we look to the future, our work ahead includes further expansion of the social and emotional supports to help our students cope better with stress, anxiety, and major transitions. Keeping our commitment to our community that no third grader will be retained next year with the third grade reading law requiring retention. We will get our students there and develop plans for those that need them going forward. We will continue our work to close the achievement gap by ensuring that an excellent teacher is in every single classroom, among other things. A high-quality public education for all students is the foundation of our democracy, and I am passionate about ensuring that we can provide that caliber of opportunity for all students. If re-elected, you can count on me to continue to keep Ann Arbor Public Schools strong and continue to be a voice for public education in Lansing and DC. My name is Christine Stead, and I hope to win your vote on November 6th for the Board of Education. Thank you.
This concludes the presentation by candidates running for Ann Arbor Board of Education. This program is also available online at a2gov.org/watchctn. Remember to do your part and vote on November 6th.